Hello everyone, welcome to the ASMR Jojo's posing at 3 a.m. gone wrong. Um, it's not actually 3 a.m. by the way, it's actually like 5 p.m. but I thought I'd say 3 a.m. because what better way to do an April Fool's title, am I right? But this April Fool's isn't gonna be entirely clickbait. No. I'm going to be using my self model to recreate some JoJo's poses. I thought it would also kind of help people figure out how to pose and stuff, because I know that's a struggle for a lot of people. Also, if my mic sounds really close to my face, it's because that's part of this challenge. You know, I don't know anything about ASMR other than it makes me really uncomfortable. So all I know is you put your mic really close to your face and then you tap some potatoes, I guess. I do, but like I'm not gonna get a potato from the kitchen and start tapping my microphone with it because it's kind of weird. So yeah, I have some JoJo's poses on my second monitor, and so I'm going to be trying out some poses. So the first one is with Gappy, or Part 8 Josuke, from the cover of Eyes of Heaven, which is the JoJo's fighting game. So it's probably not going that well, because like I'm trying to both look at my model and look at the screen. Bit confusing, but here we go. So I don't really have the best advice, because a lot of people ask me, teach them how to pose and stuff, and I'm not very good at it. And for those wondering, I actually found a hand pack of like various hand poses. It's super helpful. Only problem is I don't know where to find it anymore, because I think the person isn't in MMD anymore. So that's unfortunate, but it's a really helpful hand pack. Hopefully you guys can find it, someday, because it's super useful. So, shit. Yeah, I'm not the best at this. And my model is not really the best rigged, because I'm not very good at rigging models. Not to worry, someday I do plan to commission, like, my favorite MMD modeler to make me a good self-model, because goodness knows I'm not good at this shit. So, yeah. This is the gone wrong part, because it's getting awkward, boys. But yeah, so a lot of people ask me, why don't I help teach them how to pose and stuff? But the thing is that posing is a little different than what people think it is, because posing is basically like a lot of just your own artistic. It's like asking someone, teach me how to draw. It's like everyone has their own unique style, and I have my own unique way of posing. I actually kind of use my dolls as like a reference, because as you know, I collect dolls, and if you've seen my Instagram, you know I'm obsessed with them. But I use my dolls often as reference when posing, because it helps, having a lot of people think dolls can be kind of creepy or whatever, but they genuinely do help with art. Like there's some artwork I've done here on this channel where it's like I needed a reference for the way something looked or the way something moved, and I just used my doll for it, and it makes the process a lot easier and a lot more fun. Let me see. Oh, okay, there we go. Just so you know, these square ones move the legs. I don't know if that helps. I'm not the best at this. Some people say I should do like a tutorial for MMD, and I do plan to do like someday a super professional tutorial, but I'm also not a professional person. So who knows. And don't forget to, when you're posing, by the way, don't ever forget to register everything you're doing, because you don't want to accidentally switch to the camera and have everything reset itself, because good lord, from personal experience, it sucks. Yeah. So I can't really figure out how Gappy's legs are working here, but I'm trying. I'm trying real hard. Also the fact that, again, I poorly rigged my own self-model, but that's how professional I am. Okay. And then... And by the way, I guess there is one advice I can give, and it's a piece of advice one model maker told me, and it's basically never leave any bone unposed. So like, pose every bone, because when we move, you know, we're moving pretty much all our bones at once. You know, we aren't having our head basically constantly stationary. So like, tilt the head a little if you can, move the shoulder a little if you can. That's why you see my poses are like, as people say, pretty good. So yeah. So there we go. That's me doing Gappy's pose from Eyes of Heaven. And Gappy is part 8 Josuke, but I like to call him Gappy because that tooth gap is pretty adorable. Alright, here we go. I needed a bit of a water break and a model switching because my self-model isn't going to work for this next one because, like I said, I poorly rigged my self-model. So, we'll be posing this Kanon model by Jjinomu. I can never say her name out loud because I suck at this. Okay, so I have a reference here. It's Will Zeppeli's pose. I'm probably going to put it on screen so you guys know what I'm trying to do here. And then laugh at how bad it is. So yeah, I was trying to look up ridiculous Jojo's poses. And I always see Will Zeppeli as like the one that has some of the most ridiculous poses. Because he's dramatic and Italian, which is a mood. Because like I said in my Jojo, oh god, in my Jojo's review video, I'm a quarter of it, so probably can't tell if you see me on Instagram or whatever, but it's there, it's in there. I chose Kanon because I don't have Anon and Kanon as Vocaloids, so even though I have these models which are lovely, I never really have an opportunity to use them, so I thought it would be a cool idea. Good lord, Kanon's spine is snapping in two, and if you hear tapping, that's my glasses hitting my fucking mic stand because it's ASMR. We're just gonna say it's 3 AM, even though it's not. Like I said, it's 5 PM, but we're just gonna say it's 3 AM. I think. How the fuck? Good lord. This looks awful. This looks like a demon-possessed Kanon. And if you hear trains outside, I apologize. That usually happens when I'm recording, and I usually get salty about it. But in this case, it's 3 AM gone wrong, so we're gonna just deal, I guess, and get salty later about it. Salty like saltines. So, yeah, basically, when you're posing in MMD, move every bone. Don't just leave the legs stationary like this. Like, I usually try and do something like this, or like this, you know, something that makes it look like everything's moving. Because we don't stand stationary like a model. It helps make the model look more lively if it moves, like if it's posed like the way a person would. And like I said, something like a doll or an action figure really does help in situations when posing, because, you know, it looks cool and stuff. And I think there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. That's the best I think I can do. I can't figure out what Zeppeli's back leg is doing there, but attempts were made, and Kanon doesn't look that bad, actually. I mean, she looks broken, but so does Zeppeli in that pose. He's maybe he's still dead. So, yeah. That's Jojo's posing with Kanon, and now to the final one. Okay, so here's the last one of this challenge. Shit, wrong button. This is actually a Kakyoin model. It's not from Eyes of Heaven, obviously, otherwise the shading would be fucking crazy. But it was made by a model maker. I can't remember their name for the life of me, but their credit will be on screen. I never forget to credit a model, and if I do, I always like immediately go back and like fill the description with all the proper credits. So today we'll be doing a Rohan Kishibe pose because I feel like part 4 Kakyoin would have been something like Rohan maybe, but like less of a jerk. So this is a pose from Rohan Kishibe at the Louvre. I'm gonna give my review of it. Oh god. Once I review all of Jojo's, you'll see it in the oh god, why does the light keep doing that? You'll be seeing it once I review everything for Jojo's in part 2 because, you know, Rohan Kishibe has so many fucking OVAs and shit. I don't know why he has so many one-shots and OVAs, but I guess it's called I'm a mangaka, so I have favoritism. You know, kind of like how the artist will always have their favorite character be the artist. Or like for me, like you have the doll collector, so usually my favorite character is the doll collector. Except for Darby, one of the Darby brothers. I don't know what I'm doing with Kakyoin's foot, because in this pose you can't really see Rohan's legs, but attempts will be made. Let's see, I've only ever used this model once. I was gonna make this whole thing a while ago, and I was actually gonna record it and everything. It was gonna be this thing of like Persona 5 characters with Jojo's characters, and the characters that line up with their tarot cards. So for instance, the only picture I have, unfortunately, is Joker and Dio, and because they're both the world, if you've obviously seen Persona 5, you would know Joker is, by the end of the game, he's the world. I know in the beginning he's the fool, but, you know, at the end of the game, he's the world. But the problem came from the fact that I couldn't find the proper models for it. Like, I couldn't find a model for Iggy, and then I couldn't find a model for pretty much everyone else. I mean, there were models for Iggy, but the problem came from the fact that they were on Nico Nico, and, you know, the problem with Nico Nico is everyone writes their model rules in Japanese, so then comes the problem of I can't find the password, or I can't figure out the password because it's poorly translated English, so I don't understand what they're trying to say. Usually some people are nice and they just make it like the URL for the model as the password, but then other times it's like a poor translation of what is Iggy's favorite, you know, food, and it'll be like what is Iggy's favorite consumption, and you're like, wait, what does that mean? You know, and you wouldn't know to put coffee gum in like kanji or something, and sometimes it's even in like I said, different forms of Japanese. So it's, I remember this one password was like, what do people call Saitama in the anime? And I was like, oh, egg. But, and then I try and like put the kanji for egg and the English word for egg, and it wouldn't count. And then I had to keep reading the broken English, and it was basically saying I had to put it in like hiragana, and then I did it and got the Saitama model. But, you know, it's stuff like that. It's what makes it a little frustrating when a model is tied to Nico Nico, because the passwords are always pretty complicated. And I get it, you know, they don't want, you know, kids downloading the model and then making a shitty recolor. Because I've, from not necessarily personal experience, but from seeing other people, that must be frustrating. And not only that, but, you know, people don't credit their models all the time, which is bad, but, you know, I can imagine locking, good lord, this is clipping, but I can imagine that must be frustrating, you know? Having your model not credit. From personal experience, it is awful, so I get it, but still frustrating when it's like a lovely model that you want to download and you can't. Let's see, let's make this a little more the picture. Kakyoin looks... Good lord. This looks kind of bad, but attempts are made, you know, we're making attempts. That's the gone wrong part, so... I think that's the best I can do, to be honest. The problem with these models is this model's not super dynamic. Oh wait, the hips. Kakyoin, is it weird? Does Kakyoin have, like, Sebastian's hips, you know what I mean? Like that small waist thing. It's charming. I forgot, does this model have sliders to remove, like... Because the problem came from the fact this, again, Japanese model, so I can't figure out if, like... Okay, no. I thought this model had, like, sliders to take off the coat and stuff, because then it would make it look a little easier, because right now this makes it difficult, but no, I think they made separate models, and I'm not going to experiment with that right now. So, yeah, that would be it for this ASMR 3 AM, but not 3 AM, gone wrong. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I thought it would be a really funny April Fool's video, especially since my friends and I always joke around about doing an ASMR thing. Also, it is very difficult to stay so close to my mic like this, and I apologize for the wacky audio from this, but attempts were made. So, yeah, thanks for watching, everybody. Have a happy April Fool's Day. Hey guys, thanks for watching! If you liked the video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing if you're new. And if any older new subs would like to help support the channel in any possible way, my Ko-fi page is down below in the description along with all of my social media. For any subscribers, new or old, who would like to help with video ideas or maybe just want to talk about anime or something, then I have a fan server linked down below. See you next time!